I almost feel like I'm interrupting, because what a precious time we will have. Just a space and time for our Lord here, exposed in the Blessed Sacrament. So just take my words as fuel for your own prayer, to keep that conversation with Him going, to keep the fire of His love in our hearts burning. This evening, the theme for our reflection is on what it means to be an apostle of Christ. I wanted to use as a backdrop for our prayer the passage from John chapter 20. It actually seems a little anti-liturgical to read this passage right now, but it does go with the theme, and I will tie it in. And it is the passage of Mary Magdalene at the tomb. It's John 20, 11 and following. But Mary stayed outside the tomb weeping, and as she wept, she bent over into the tomb and saw two angels in white sitting there, one at the head and one at the feet where the body of Jesus had been. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken the Lord, and I don't know where they laid him." When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus there, but did not know it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener and said to him, "Sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you laid him, and I will take him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, Rabboni, which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and tell them, I am going to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary of Magdala went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and what he told her. So this past weekend I was helping with an 8th and 9th grade girls retreat. And I was trying to spruce it up a little bit with something different from when they were like in 5th, 6th, and 7th grade on their retreats. So I told them Saturday night, okay, Sunday morning we're going to have a special outdoor prayer experience. If you remember Sunday morning, it was very cold. I was like, just bring your blankets and bundle up. So what they didn't know was that I had previously met with Father Jaime, and I told Father, "Can you expose the Blessed Sacrament and we'll have outdoor adoration?" And we decided that we'd have Jesus there waiting for the girls when they arrived in the morning. So although it was a cold morning, it was a beautiful morning, and the sun was just shining off the dew on the grass and the frost on the grass. So you could hear the girls all like talking and laughing as they're coming down from their cabins. They come to where we told them to meet us. And then little by little the sound kind of like faded away as they realized Jesus was there in the monstrance. And they all kind of got into their seats, and it was just like a really beautiful moment. But I told them what I want to tell you too right now in starting this reflection is that Jesus was already here waiting for us when we came in. Sometimes it's almost like we come to prayer and we're not expecting to find him, which seems a little bit like an oxymoron, right? But we come to prayer not expecting to find Jesus. But that's how Mary Magdalene arrived at the tomb. She wasn't expecting to find Jesus. That's what she was looking for, but she wasn't expecting to find him. She was expecting to find a dead Jesus. But he was already there. This is what it means to be an apostle. And this is the first idea that I wanted to just present and throw out there. is ultimately Christ is the apostle par excellence. Christ the apostle with a capital A. And normally we don't refer to Christ as the apostle. We think of the 12 apostles, but we don't really think of Jesus as an apostle. But he is the apostle. If you go to John chapter 3, verse 16 and 17, we all know that verse probably by heart. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. For God did not send his Son to condemn the world, but to save it. Right there, we hear, if we would be saying that in Greek, we would probably be saying the word, that the word apostle comes from. The etymology of the word apostle is the one who is sent, the person who is sent. Jesus is the one sent by the Father. He is, in some regards, sentness. That's who he is. The one who is sent. God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son. He gave his only begotten Son, not to condemn, but to save. We forget that Jesus is already there because he's been sent. He's been sent for us, to redeem us, to save us. We have Christ the King, the feast, the solemnity of Christ the King coming up on Sunday, and it's the last Sunday of ordinary time and like big solemnity at the end of the liturgical year. And what a beautiful thought and prayer and reflection to be able to make, similar to what Father Jeremy was saying at the beginning. Yes, to have Christ reign in our hearts, but to recognize the need to be saved, to be rescued. That we need Christ to reign in our hearts. How grateful. And I think of this a lot. How grateful I am that the Father did send the Son. Thanks be to God that Jesus came to save us. That all the stuff we can experience in our lives, the darkness, the sadness, the loss, all the different things, ups and downs of life, that Jesus actually did come, that he was sent, that he is sent, that he is alive, that he does save. And in 2 weeks we're celebrating Advent. Gosh, it goes fast. And Advent means the coming. So, for what? For the one who is sent. For Christ the Apostle, who's coming as a little baby, who's being sent by the Father. And just to imagine what is happening in the heart of God that compels him to send his only begotten Son. But then we're also called to be apostles, but with a little a, not the big A, capital A with a little a. We're called to be apostles, which means we're also called to be sent. Jesus says in John 20:21, as the Father sends me, so I send you. So what does it mean to be an apostle of Christ? I think it means that we need to reflect on a few things. If being an apostle means I'm the one who is sent, who sends me? Who sends me? Sometimes we have to remember that. Our call to be apostles isn't us initiating it. Isn't just because we're trying to fulfill some duties as good Catholics. Our call to be an apostle is because we have been sent by Christ. As the Father sends me, so I send you. From where am I being sent? Because being sent implies I'm starting someplace and going to someplace. So from where am I? To whom am I being sent? Where am I being sent? Sometimes we can associate being an apostle with doing a lot, but being an apostle is more about being the one who is sent. So where are you being sent to? Your husband? Your family? A difficult situation that's happening? One of your children who needs a little extra attention and care? Sometimes we imagine to be an apostle means to go off to Africa or to Nicaragua or to, I don't know. But where is Jesus sending us? Into the ordinary of our lives. Into the craziness of our lives. He doesn't take us out. He sends us in. Sometimes it'd be easier to go to Africa. But sometimes the circumstances that are in our lives are exactly where God is sending us to be an apostle. To be his messenger, to be his envoy, to be his eyes, his voice, his heart. Sometimes I think that God puts us in situations that maybe the people we're with or the circumstances we're in would not have God in it unless we were there. But some people might not set a foot in the church, but you bring that church to them. Some people may not be able to encounter Jesus here in the Eucharist, but you become yourself like a monstrance, like an image of Christ who brings that message, that love, that light into their reality. Jesus comes to encounter us where we are. He is sent into our reality, not apart from it, into our messiness, into our fears, into our loss, into our darkness. He comes into it. That's what we're celebrating liturgically. Christ the Apostle, the one who is sent by the Father. And as the Father has sent him, he sends us. There is a description of Regnum Christi members in the rule of life of the lay people that I think actually is really applicable to anyone, not just Regnum Christi members. But it's this phrase that I love very much, and it says that they let themselves be permeated by Christ's charity towards humanity. And that brings their apostolic zeal to life. To be permeated by Christ's love. And how do you do this? Through intimate contact with him. Because he's already there. He's already here. He's already been sent. We see this kind of interchange in the passage of Mary Magdalene. So you can go there if it helps you. Here is Christ sent to her. She wasn't expecting to find him, but there He meets her in her reality. He calls her by name, and he sends her. One of Mary Magdalene's titles is Apostle to the Apostles. She is the one sent to the ones who are being sent. And then just a final thought, because I think in the end we need to pray about that a lot. And sometimes just those questions that we can bring to our Lord. Who's sending me? From where am I being sent? To whom am I being sent? And this is because this is a reflection to women, so I can say this. I think we have a special gift as women in this givenness. This sentness. Because in the end, it's, in another language, in another way of putting it, in other words, we're talking about the logic of gift. The Father has sent his gift to us, the Son. We are the Father's gift to the Son. And the Christ sends us as gift to each other. And this is a particular note of the feminine heart, the feminine mode of existence, the capacity to receive the gift and in receiving give as gift. In this holiday season that is very fast approaching us, in this time of the liturgical year, I think we as women have a particular role of being apostles simply by our receptivity. Our capacity to welcome the gift of the other. I was skimming through some of Joan of Arc's writings the other day on woman, and it's like I've never read them before, which I have many times actually. But Joan of Arc says something very beautiful, because he says, for one thing, the strength of the woman is in the fact that she has been entrusted with the human person. And then he says that the first person, the first human to have ever lived fully the human's purpose was a woman. Was Mary. Mary, the Mother of God, because she actually lived in union with God, and that's what we're created for. What if we could do that this Thanksgiving, Advent, Christmas time, to live in that intimate contact with our Lord, and to allow him to send us into the peripheries of our own lives, our own families, our own homes, the circumstances we encounter. First, receive the gift of the apostle par excellence, the one the Father is sending to you, Christ. And then allow yourself to be sent to be an apostle of Christ.